Hi folks, welcome to Coffee and Colossians on Monday. We are getting near the end. I think there's only 2 weeks to go. And we're looking at these details that we skip by often. You won't often hear sermons on these verses. So we're at verse 9 just now, and he's talking about Tychicus, and he says, this dear brother, faithful minister, fellow servant, he's coming to you. And verse 9 says this, he's coming with Onesimus, our faithful and dear brother, who is one of you. They will tell you everything that is happening here. Now, Onesimus, who is he? He is the runaway slave in Philemon. In fact, we shall read some of that about him. So, Hebrews Philemon. Sorry, Philemon Hebrews, the other way around. So, he says this to Philemon, writing to Philemon. I appeal to you for my son Onesimus, and Onesimus means useful, who became my son while I was in chains. Formerly he was useless to you, but now he's become useful both to you and to me. I am sending him, who is my very heart, back to you. I would have liked to keep him with me so that he could take your place in helping me while I'm in chains for the gospel. But I didn't want to do anything without your consent, so that any favor you do would not seem forced, but would be voluntary. Perhaps the reason he was separated from you for a little while was that you might have him back forever, no longer as a slave, but better than a slave, as a dear brother. He's very dear to me, but even dearer to you, both as a fellow man and as a brother in the Lord. So if you consider me a partner, welcome him as you would welcome me. If he's done you any wrong or owes you anything, charge it to me. Now, that's how you deal with slavery. Onesimus, the runaway slave, comes to Rome, is converted, meets Paul. Paul sends him back to his master, Philemon. Sends him back, not as a slave, but as a dear brother, a fellow man. Am I not a man? A fellow man. I think that is absolutely incredible. And if you go back to our verse in Colossians 4:9, he says, who is one of you? That's doing away with all the social distinctions. There's no master and slave. He's just one of you. He belongs to you. And then look how he is described. Our faithful and dear brother. Faithful. Sounds a bit like a dog, doesn't it? But faithful implies loyalty, keeping going. Not just doing it for 1 week or a couple of weeks, but keeping going. I'm thinking of a couple I know who, outwardly looking, I'm not going to say who they are, but outwardly looking, lots of people would look at them and say, they're no great shakes. But you know this? For decades, they've faithfully served the Lord in the church. They're not spectacular, they're not flashy. But I would take a couple like that any day. Steady reliability is a quality that is worth cultivating. Onesimus had changed. I mean, he'd formerly been told he was useless. His name was useful, but he was actually useless. But now he'd changed. Now he's become a Christian. Now he's going to be much more useful to you, not as a slave, but as a brother. That's what Philemon is told. The gospel does change people. I wonder if we believe that. I mean, we really want our fellowships to be full of people who've been changed. I hate this kind of trope that people like Steve Chalk and others use. Jesus accepts you just as you are. No. Jesus wants to change all of us. We do believe in conversion therapy, not in the sense of the governments go on about it, but we do believe that people can be changed and be converted. And Onesimus is just such a great example of that. So may we see many more Onesimuses and broken relationships like between Philemon and Onesimus being healed in our churches. God bless you and see you tomorrow. Bye.